Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for die-hard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. This is one of the best Bengals YouTube channels out there for die-hard Bengals fans. So be sure to subscribe, like this. If you hate the Squealers, love the Bengals, be sure to like this video. You guys know what to do. Today I wanted to touch on a signing that kind of resonated with me, and the Bengals went out and signed Adolphus Washington, and this was due to the fact that Ryan Glasgow went down with a ACL injury. They needed to add some experience on the defensive line, and this was a guy that I thought a few weeks ago they could be interested in. However, he ended up signing with the Cowboys onto their practice squad. So I thought that there was going to be an issue there, but the Bengals actually ended up signing him from the practice squad, and this was a guy that I figured that they'd have some interest in because he was a guy that's from Cincinnati, from the area, came to the pro day, the local pro day that they had a few years ago, was a guy during that draft that I was hoping that they would get, and the Buffalo Bills jumped up and selected him. So I wanted to just give those who aren't aware of his background just some knowledge surrounding Adolphus Washington. So I will let a video play a little bit later, but I first want to review his draft profile, which comes from NFL.com. So they give him a grade of 5.6, which is basically the grade for a backup but an eventual starter. So he definitely has shown some promise, and I think that's kind of what you got in Ryan Glasgow, right? He was a guy that was a backup but could be a starter. So let's look at some of his strengths and weaknesses. One of his strengths is that he ran a 4.95 in the 40, so it shows that he's a agile and athletic player who clearly has some speed when it comes to getting off and can definitely rush from the interior. And it says that he just needs to be coached up. So I think that the Bengals defensive line coach, Craig Burney, will be able to work with him and get some of the best play out of him. He's worked with guys in the past, such as Andrew Billings and Glasgow and other guys. So I think that he can get that out of there. It looks like he has a good change of direction, and it looks like he can also hound runners who try to bounce outside. So that's exactly what they need. That sounds like he's a guy that could stop someone who just gashed us, like Christian McCaffrey. It looks like his weaknesses seem to be some of his pad level. He needs to add strength, widen his base. These are all things that I'm looking at that seem that they could be coached up, and it seems like it's more of a technique thing. So definitely seems like he could be a guy that could be a good draft gem for the Bengals. And it looks like the comparison that they have for him is Wallace Gilberry, of all players. So we know what Wallace Gilberry was. He kind of played that role where he played on the interior and could move on the exterior. So I think that he's a guy that could be a rotation guy and could be a guy that could come in and have an impact and definitely be able to replace Ryan Glasgow. So with that said, I will let his interview play from him joining the Bengals.
Do that, so wants to grow up and play for their hometown, so I finally get the chance to do that. So
do you think there's some added pressure that comes with it?
No, not at all. I would just continue, trying to do my best, and hopefully I stick here.
You're in good shape, both physically in terms of no injury and football shape?
Yes, sir, definitely, yep.
Adolphus, what was kind of the message they gave to you as you walked in these doors here, and kind of what you can expect to contribute, how you can contribute here?
Pretty much like the guy that was there before me, go out there, play hard, back up Geno, just give him a solid foundation coming off the bench, you know.
How much do you hope to have an impact on a team that started the season 2-1 and certainly needs some depth at that position right now?
I mean, I hope to come in and make a big impact, you know. I guess that all depends on how much I play, but, you know, while I'm out there, I'm going to play as hard as I can.
How easier does it to make this transition mid-season with some familiar faces from Ohio State and obviously with Buffalo?
Yeah, it's good to see, you know, my guys from Ohio State, you know, and Preston from Buffalo. But I've been knowing Preston for a while. But, you know, I just look to those guys, you know, try to help me out these first couple days, first couple weeks. And first day they've been doing, you know, they've been leading me in the right direction. So,
what was the family's reaction when you got the word from when you were coming here?
That was like, I haven't stopped receiving phone calls from that right now. Like, people keep calling me, like they know I'm in work and everything. They just keep calling, but definitely a good experience. You know, glad to be back home around my family. You know, I feel a lot more, you know, comfortable, more at home. You know what I mean? That at home feeling.
Your defensive line room is a pretty good room. You haven't had a whole lot of exposure to it yet. What's your initial reaction to what the room's like out there?
Like you said, I haven't had really, you know, too much exposure to it, but from what I see, you know, guys, they have fun, you know, they love each other, talk to each other, and play hard.
So that was Adolphus Washington, and I think that he's going to fit in just right here. So like I said, a few weeks ago, I kind of thought that he would be a guy that would go to the Bengals. And for you guys that know about Prime, some of my OG subscribers, he was very high on that list. So initially when they were working out some guys and I saw that they were working out defensive linemen, it was kind of shocking to me that they didn't work out Adolphus, but not shocking that they went after him and grabbed him this week. So I actually heard about this before it was even announced. If you check my tweets, thanks to some of my followers out there, I appreciate y'all. I kind of got the word on this kind of early. I just didn't want to say anything because with the news not being official, or, you know, I didn't want to mess anything up if the Cowboys got word or anything of that. I didn't want to screw up the team. So definitely excited to have him as a part of the team, but definitely be sure to comment. Let me know what you guys think of the signing, and also, you know, let me know what you think of the podcast and everything going forward. Be sure to subscribe if you forgot. But as usual, I will leave you guys with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.